Hello, church family. My name is Ken Wenzel. I'm one of the elders here at Chapel City Church, and I'm here with Pastor Matt. We just want to talk to you a little bit about how ministry is adapting to our current circumstance. I just want to encourage you as well that this is certainly a different time, but it is not a lost time. Good ministry and fruitful ministry is continuing. We know that the Lord is sovereign, His plan is good and perfect. And in all of our lives, there are events that occur that we don't understand at the time. This may be one. And I encourage each of us to look back over our lives and our walk with the Lord, and we see these mile markers of faithfulness that the Lord has provided to each of us. Use that as encouragement to build our faith with the Lord and thank Him for His faithfulness and His care for us. This, like any other time, is a time to build our faith and deepen our walk with God through Jesus Christ. And before I talk a little bit about how we're doing things differently at the church, I just want to share with you how the Lord has been speaking into my life during this time. It was probably about 2 or 3 weeks ago when these events started to unfold. And you'll all recall that there was a shortage of water bottles. Now, this is not to condemn anybody or be judgmental of anybody, because I will share with you that I went out and bought water myself. After I did that, I went to Costco. And what I saw that day was just a mad rush for water. Folks were behaved. There wasn't any issue from that side. But as I was driving home, I was starting to reflect on what is needed. In fact, I sent a text to my kids that back in ancient days when I was a kid, okay, some of you are watching this should be rolling your eyes right now because that was only 40 years ago. And when we see each other, you can give me a hard time. But back in ancient days when I was a kid, I would drink water out of the tap or even out of a hose. The point being, we need water. We don't need bottled water. And if you ask me now what my list of needs are versus even 3 weeks ago, I will tell you that I would give you a different answer. So that's been a blessing. Scripture teaches us deep spiritual truths, and many of them actually do involve water. And I want us to just walk through a little bit on Psalm 42, where the psalmist wrote, "As the deer pants for the water, so my soul thirsts for thee." What a great picture this gives us. The deer is a naturally nervous animal. Any noise that is unexpected, anything that causes them to spook, they run away. They're fearful. How often am I that deer, where circumstance allows me to impact my walk and my faith and where my true hope is? The second part of that verse gives us an illustration of where we should be. As the deer pants for the water, so my soul thirsts for thee. The deer, naturally nervous, finally is overcome by thirst, and it's consumed by the thought of getting to the stream to drink. Is that me? Is that you? Is our pursuit of the Lord single-minded and focused in that way? And I would encourage us all at this time to take an opportunity to look at God's truth. There will be times of loneliness and isolation. Of course, we should pray. It goes beyond that as well. Pray, meditate on Scripture, but then reach out to the church. And we're going to talk to you about that and how we can continue ministering together. The church is, of course, doing services live stream. We expect those to continue for several weeks at a minimum. There's also active ministry that is still going on. Awana, I hope you're at the YouTube page. Obviously, you're on it now, but look at some of the other videos. Awana videos are there. There are youth group videos that are there. Youth group is meeting online through a platform called Zoom. We had a prayer meeting last week through Zoom. Women's Bible studies are still there through Zoom. So there's opportunities to connect. Please contact the church to understand those. We've also kicked off small groups this week. And what Matt will talk about in a little bit is you may not currently be in a small group. There's an opportunity for you to join a small group during this time period. You're not committing to anything long term. It may be just while we're need to be separated that you would join that group. If you want to connect, please take an opportunity to connect with the church through the various ministry options that we have. Matt, anything you want to share?
We'll talk a little bit about what that connection looks like. Of course, we have our Sunday morning small groups that typically meet, of course, aren't in person right now, and we do have our midweek small groups. And many of you during this time have realized that you would like to be part of a small group, that you don't have a specific developed community that you would be able to naturally plug into or reach out to during this time. We want to give you a platform to make that happen. If you are interested in joining a small group and you have not yet been a part of that, please reach out to us at the church and let us know. We will be forming at least one, up to 2 or 3 more small groups, whatever the need might be. We want to make sure to connect people during this really critical time. And as far as connecting to the church, we want to let you know how to do that. Of course, you can call the regular church phone number. People are in the office just about every day throughout the week, and we will check those voicemails if you leave it, if somebody's not here, and we'll get back to you as soon as possible. Another great way to get in touch with us is through email. Our regular church email address is info, I-N-F-O, @chapelcity.church. During this time, we've also set up a special email for care concerns. Now, that care concern might be a physical concern. It might be that you're out of a necessary supply. It might be that you have a practical benevolence need. Or it might be a spiritual need. You might need prayer for something specific in your household, in your family, or even in your extended family. Both of those are entirely appropriate to send to this new care email that we've developed, and that's simply care@chapelcity.church. So we have the info @chapelcity.church and the care@chapelcity.church. We would encourage you to use both of those. They will be checked regularly, and we will get back to you with whatever you need on those. Now, as Ken said, it looks like we're not going to be able to meet together in person for, we don't know how long, at least the next several weeks. And if you're looking forward, there's some important things that happen in the life of a body in these next several weeks. We come up on the start of a new month, not this weekend, but the next weekend. And what do we do about communion? That's a real question that we have to wrestle with. We've taken steps to be able to take communion together, although we won't be together. We will still be celebrating the Lord's table during our service on the first Sunday of the month, and we have ordered supplies that you can bring to your home. We will deliver them if you can't get to them, or we will have them available here at the church for pickup during specific hours. We'll announce that on Sunday. We'll send that out in an email, so make sure that we're connected to you that way. But we want to facilitate that. And also, one of the videos coming up next week will be how do we think through things like communion, things like body activities when the body can't gather together, because there's some really good questions that we have to wrestle with in the midst of that. So be on the lookout for that. Also, we have Easter, Good Friday, Palm Sunday coming up, things that normally would be great times not only to get together, but to invite our friends to church, our neighbors, our coworkers, people that might not necessarily even consider going to church at any other time of year. We'll be live streaming those events as well. We will have a Good Friday service that we'll live stream. We will have Palm Sunday. We will have Easter Sunday services that we will live stream. And you know what? People are still asking questions. In fact, maybe more than any other year in recent memory, people are asking questions in a way that is obviously different from, but similar to 9/11. People are wondering why. They're asking the big questions that relate to life, to community, to the existence of good, evil, disease, mortality, things like that. And into that void, the church has the opportunity to speak powerfully, to speak clearly, to speak compellingly about the message of Christ and the hope that's found only in the gospel. So absolutely take advantage of that. Direct people to the YouTube channel, direct them to our Facebook page, have them watch the videos, but above all, take the opportunities that you have to reach out to people in person. Be that gospel messenger, be the salt and light that we were designed and created to be and that we are left here for as disciples. And as you have the opportunity to hear these things, to share these stories, to talk to people, to minister to people, we want to know about it. One of the things that we would love to hear from you is some blessing stories, some encouragement stories, some things that you've seen about how God's fingerprints are all over this. Because of course we know that while this isn't what any of us had planned, this was planned by God from before the foundations of the earth, and none of this has caught him by surprise. We want to know how you've seen God working in the midst of this so that we can share it, because one of the ways that we're going to stay connected as a community is sharing how God is working in our lives during this time. So if you have a story of God's faithfulness in this, we would love to hear it because we would love to share that. And once again, you can reach out to us through those info@Chapel City accounts. You can reach out to me on my personal email. You can reach out to Ken. I won't give his email out here, but we would love to hear those stories from you so that we can relate them to the body, so that we can be encouraged and built up together. Thanks so much for your time. We look forward to getting in touch with you again and letting us know how we can minister to you. God bless, and we'll see you next time.